So here are the progressive news headlines on ACT.tv for today, Monday, July 20th. The Congressional Progressive Caucus has formally come out against the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2021, unless, of course, significant action, and that's the quote, is taken to reduce the bill's proposed Pentagon outlay. The CPC tweeted yesterday, rubber stamping a record $740 billion for the Pentagon shortchanges millions of families trying to get by in this crisis. Representative Barbara Lee and CPC co-chairs Pramila Jayapal and Mark Pocan are advocating the passage of the NDAA amendment that would cut proposed Pentagon budget cash by 10% and redirect the savings toward healthcare, housing, and education in poor communities, which would really help, with the economy and the stop of the coronavirus, because everything good that happens from the ground up, not the top down. People are asking that you call your member of Congress today and ask them to support that Congressional Progressive Caucus in their demand to put people above weapons manufacturers. This is very important. They need to hear from us today. Call a member of Congress, ask them to put people above weapons manufacturers. And, it's the again, if you didn't hear the beginning, it's the Progressive Caucus that is calling for this in the Congress. Democratic lawmakers in the House and Senate are demanding the Trump administration immediately reverse an order requiring hospitals to send COVID-19 patient info directly to HHS, a database they're holding there, instead of, as has always happened, the CDC. The change in COVID-related data collection is creating chaos, by the way, and states are struggling to cope with soaring infections. They don't need this right now. The White House's decision to reroute COVID data from the CDC to a database run by Teletracking Technologies, which, by the way, is a private contractor where the CDC is public, so you can get all that public information. Researchers can get it, journalists can get it, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. They want to privatize the information so you don't know anything. So when they say you can go out without a mask, when Fox News continues to say mask schmask, you won't have any science to back it up. The data will be privatized. 46 members of the Senate Democratic Caucus sent the letter to Vice President Mike Pence, who was busy in church. But anyway, they also sent it to the Coronavirus Task Force Coordinator, Deborah Birx, demanding, that they turn the information back over to the CDC. So let's follow that, because that seems rather important. Teachers and parents across the U.S. continue to express outrage over the federal government's demand that public schools are fully reopened in the fall semester. Some educators are looking to revitalize the nationwide Red for Ed movement of 2018, which led thousands of them to walk out of their classrooms in a fight for better conditions and wages. They were quite successful in that movement back in 2018, as we here have reported on ACT.tv. Teachers in Florida, where more than 100 COVID-19 deaths have been recorded per day for 4 days in a row, are now demonstrating with signs reading "Red for Ed, not Red for Dead." The Trump administration has refused to ensure schools have safety measures in place in the fall, while simultaneously insisting that schools are fully operational. What TF is going on? You can join the Red for Ed movement at NEA, that's the National Education Association, neatoday.org, and then /Red for Ed, neatoday.org/Red for Ed. You could join all these things and do all these things in a few minutes. It'd be very helpful. That's why we bring you the headlines, so that you can focus on what's going on and so that you can know that people are actually out there fighting. And it's not just like a litany of horrendous news that you can get on ABC, the morning show on ABC, which I've said before, and I will say again, that I believe that the mainstream media is designed to depress us and overwhelm us so that our natural human tendency to run and hide takes over. Our fight or flight, response takes over. We become irrational, and we do not take rational political action so that we can have a rational government. So, as they say, don't believe the hype. And, believe what we're telling you because this stuff is happening. 120 rights groups led by Amnesty International USA are urging the Trump administration to release all families being held in immigrant detention centers as it complies with a recent court order to release children from these facilities due to concerns about coronavirus. The groups, including, well, there's a number of them, so, you can just get involved at your leisure. They wrote in a joint letter, "We strongly object to any plan to place a choice before parents that is no choice at all. Indefinite detention with their children in a deadly coronavirus condition during this pandemic, or possible permanent separation from their children." This letter was sent to Acting Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf and Acting ICE Director Matt Albense. I'm not sure if that's the proper pronunciation, calling on them to free families from detention together rather than separating them. You can send your own letter, which is also very important, to the Honorable Chad Wolf, Acting Secretary of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Here's the Addy. Write this down. Someone put it in the chat. 301 7th Street Southwest, Washington, D.C. 301 7th Street Southwest, Washington, D.C. It'll get there without the zip code, but if you have an excellent memory, it's 20528. Honorable Matthew Albessens, the director and senior official performing the duties of the director at U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, can also be addressed at 512th Street, same place, Washington, D.C. Okay. There's a lot to do. Civil rights groups are calling a Trump campaign lawsuit over mail-in ballots an attempt to suppress voting, and they're challenging the lawsuits in court while we still have a court. The Trump campaign lawsuits seek to make it more difficult for Pennsylvanians to vote by mail and to have those votes counted during COVID-19. According to Ben Geffen, a state attorney at the Public Interest Law Center in Philadelphia, more than 1.5 million Pennsylvanians used mail-in ballots in the June primary, and record numbers are likely to do so for the general election in November. A number of civil rights and voting rights organizations have taken legal action to intervene as defendants in the suit. That's including the Pennsylvania NAACP, the League of Women Voters, and Common Cause Pennsylvania. So we're going to keep our eyes on that. Those are the progressive news headlines for Monday, July 20th. We here at ACT.tv offer them to you so that you can see that the progressive movement is not dead. It is working. People are working on all of these issues, and we invite you to get involved in one or all. For me, just knowing that people are working on things and being able to bring this message to you is my fight against the onslaught of misinformation and emotional manipulation. I used to be a therapist. Emotional manipulation that is coming from every corner these days. Yes, I too am trying to manipulate your emotions, but in a positive way so that you can feel empowered to take what action you feel directed to take from within. So I'm trying to help. Thanks for watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. We bring you the progressive news headlines Monday through Thursday every week, because by the time Friday comes, we have so much to do that we've reported on that we spend the day calling our congresspeople. Thanks for watching. I'm Julianna Forlano. Follow me on the internet and follow ACT.tv wherever you can find ACT.tv, which is pretty much on every platform.